Hi everyone, so today I wanted to take a few minutes to show off my Arrow video collection. I'm actually going to split this video into different parts. Now you may have heard me mention Arrow Video in previous videos. Basically they are a British DVD and Blu-ray label who release sort of cult sci-fi, horror and action movies from the 70s and 80s primarily. They have recently expanded into the US as well with some US exclusive titles. They are one of the best Blu-ray labels around, so I really wanted to take the opportunity to show off some of their stuff and what I've got. Arrow tend to, when they acquire the rights to a movie, give it a full restoration, sometimes 2K, sometimes 4K, or just a general restoration, and then put together, chances are, the most comprehensive set of extra features that film has ever seen. They tend to take the sort of Criterion approach in that the people who were involved in the movie, 9 times out of 10, if they are still alive, then they will be interviewed by Arrow for their special collector's edition. So here is just a quick overview for you. We will go through them individually. I have put them all, regardless of whether or not they are DVD or Blu-ray, in alphabetical order, because that's just how I roll. So the first one I've got here is Bear Behind Bars. This is a set that I picked up in FOP, I believe, for just a few quid, and I haven't actually gotten around to watching it yet. So I can't really comment on it too much other than, and it's fairly apparent from the cover, which is also reversible, that it's an exploitation movie. Then we have the Battle Royale, the limited edition that Arrow released a few years back, but we'll have a look at that in a little more in depth. So here is the Battle Royale set, which is just absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, it's actually quite a large box set. There's the back with several different digibooks kept inside. Now, what I'll do is if I take these out and show you. If you're wondering what I've done to my finger, by the way, I accidentally mistook it for a potato, being the genius that I am. Okay, took a chunk out of the end of it. Really hurt, actually. So here is the first disc, which is the theatrical cut. Comes in its own little case. Then we have the second, which is the director's cut, which, due to featuring some dodgy CGI, I actually much prefer the theatrical cut, but there's that. We then have disc 3, which is loaded with special features. Oh god, I love this set, it's so gorgeous. I don't know whether it's clear, but on the back of each of these you can see some school lockers. We then have some booklets here, as you can see. Now these feature, this one is essays and commentary, a very interesting read if you're interested at all in these kinds of movies. The other one in here, if I can get it out of there, is artwork and concepts. Let me just give you a glimpse of this. So you've got some sketches, as you can see, and concept art, that kind of thing. It also gives you the name of the artists as well. So a lovely little booklet there. I can get those back in. And then the final little bit is you've got a limited edition class photo, as you can see there. Another booklet. This one features a comic book, as you can see. You also get in here some art cards and a poster, and some photos, should I say, rather than they're sort of printed on a card. But there's photographs of characters from the film and a poster there. It's one of Arrow's best releases by a country mile. Battle Royale is a film I've always loved, and it's a film that, especially now, given that The Hunger Games is so popular, you know, whenever anybody tells me that they love The Hunger Games and they think it's unlike anything they've seen before, I tell them to go and watch Battle Royale. It's a fantastic movie, and it's definitely one that deserves a place in your collection. Next we have The Beyond. This is the steelbook, as you can see there. It's a gorgeous cover. I believe as well this is the 2-disc special edition. As you can see, there is an absolute ton of special features. A film, again, that I've not yet watched, but we'll get around to. I am a big fan of Lucio Fulci, so I'm expecting good things from The Beyond, so there's that. Now there's one of my favourite John Carpenter movies, and that is Big Trouble in Little China, which stars Kurt Russell. It's a film that you can't really explain the plot of, but needless to say it's like a mystical kung fu action movie from the 80s starring Kurt Russell as Jack Burton, who is a truck driver who basically gets embroiled in this sort of mystic adventure. It's mad as a toilet brush, but it's awesome, and rumour is it also helped inspire the original Mortal Kombat video games. When you watch the film, design-wise, you will notice that a lot of the characters resemble Mortal Kombat characters, and that's the reason why this was one of Mortal Kombat's inspirations. It's a film that is essentially a live-action cartoon, but it's sort of bursting with energy from John Carpenter. Everybody involved in this was clearly having a blast making it. It's underrated. This is the Arrow Steelbook with an absolute ton of extras as usual. It's a gorgeous set and I recommend it to any fans of John Carpenter or any fans of sort of cult sci-fi. Big Trouble in Little China is a fantastic movie. The next one I've got here is Dario Argento's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I do not know if I've pronounced that right, so I apologise if not. Dario Argento, big fan. This movie, again, it's chock full of special features. It's not one that I've actually watched yet. It's another shelfer, but it's Argento, so you can't go far wrong. Next, we have the first of Arrow's releases of Brian De Palma movies. Now, Brian De Palma is one of my all-time favourite filmmakers. I absolutely love his style and his approach to filmmaking. I also love the fact that it's very apparent his style when it's been homaged by other directors. I know that Quentin Tarantino is a big De Palma fan and has a tendency to homage his style and approach. So I love De Palma movies, I really do. This is the first one, and it's the Steelbook of Blowout, starring John Travolta and Nancy Allen. This is apparently the film that convinced Tarantino that John Travolta could do dramatic acting and prompted him to cast Travolta in Pulp Fiction, which obviously went on to go into cinematic history as one of the greatest gangster films ever made. Blowout is a sort of a psychological thriller where basically John Travolta is a sound engineer for a movie studio. He's out recording sounds one night and accidentally records the sound of an assassination. He then becomes embroiled in a sort of conspiracy. It also stars John Lithgow in one of his legendary psychopath roles. It's a fantastic film. I don't really want to go into the plot in any more detail than that for those of you who haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. It's one of De Palma's best. It is sort of underrated. When people talk about De Palma, you know, they talk about Scarface or The Untouchables, but Blowout is one of his best movies, I think, and I absolutely love it, but then I am a fan of paranoid psychological thrillers, and that is what Brian De Palma does best, so Blowout is definitely worth checking out. And that is the end of part one.